Hello and thank you for tuning in to Millennium Movies. So today's video I'm going to be breaking down the brand new It Chapter 2 trailer, and my goodness was it a doozy, man. I mean, so many great things. This trailer completely blew away all my expectations and hopes and dreams and like multiplied it by 1,000. I can't wait to talk about this, and we have a ton to talk about. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the majority of this trailer is actually a scene that we've actually even seen in the 1990 miniseries, and of course it's in the novel, where an adult Beverly Marsh returns to Derry in her old apartment, and she's hoping to see that her father's there, but of course he's been dead for some time now. I believe it's about somewhere in the 3 to 5 year range. And instead, there's an old woman who's living there now, at least seemingly. But, of course, as she goes throughout the apartment and finds a couple of her old stuff, she finds the postcard that Ben sent to her as a kid. You know, the poem, you know, your hair is winter fire, January embers, my heart burns there too. And she's smiling and she sees it, and then we get a cut back to the first film where Beverly first reads the poem from Ben, and she's sitting in her tub, and she kind of holds it close to her heart because it means a lot to her, and she's smiling. And oh man, the feels in this trailer, man. There's more to come later on in some shots that we're going to talk about. But as she's looking at the postcard and she's smiling, in the background we see the old woman is just kind of standing by the door, and you know, it's eerie, it's creepy. And then she starts making these like weird like bone crackling sounds, and she like kind of like twists away out of the frame. And as she's talking to the old woman, and as she's looking at other things in the apartment and looking at photos on the wall, you know, we see the woman in the back in the shadows. She's kind of like poking her head, you know, creeping out the side of the wall, and then we see her like run to the other side of one wall, and it's in complete darkness, so you can barely see her. But if you pay attention to the photo, you might not want to, but if you pay attention, you see that she's wearing absolutely no clothes, right? It kind of reminds you of that scene from The Shining where Jack Torrance finds the old woman naked in the tub, right? And she holds on to him. So that was very creepy. That specifically reminded me of The Shining and something I would see out of Hereditary. So very creepy. And as they're having this conversation, man, this tension-filled conversation where, you know, she's asking, the old woman is asking Beverly, you know, what's it like to be back in Derry? You know, they say when something dies here in Derry, nothing truly dies. And then she just kind of, this blank stare comes across the old woman's face as she's looking at Beverly, and it doesn't look right, man. It doesn't look right. You know, normal humans just don't look at you that way. And it harkens back to the very first scene from It Chapter 1, where Pennywise is talking to Georgie, and he's putting on a show, right? He's putting on an act, and he's trying to lure Georgie into his trap. And then when he's talking, you know, to him about cotton candy and the circus, but then after Pennywise doesn't have much to talk about, his face just kind of drops dead, right? And it's like there's nothing there. And the exact same thing happens with this old woman. And then of course, even, you know, when Beverly's trying to have a conversation with her, she tells her, you know, what did your dad do? And he was like, oh, my dad joined the circus, right? Just like Pennywise, just like a clown. And she's looking at the photo, and she sees it kind of looks like an older version of Bill Skarsgård. And we actually see Bill Skarsgård in this trailer as well. We see him in the, it's kind of like the halfway Pennywise makeup, and he's got he's making this strange face. It looks creepy, it looks ugly, but I'm glad that we're gonna get to see Bill Skarsgård in this trailer, because man, he's put on a phenomenal performance thus far as Pennywise the dancing clown. So it'll be nice that we'll get to see him. I wonder who he's using his Bill Skarsgård form to fool or to trick. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But back to the old woman, you know, she asks him, you know, she's talking about her father, and she says, I was always daddy's little girl. Are you still daddy's little girl? Again, that's a callback to, of course, Alvin Marsh, Beverly Marsh's father, who was very abusive and sexually abusive towards her, and would constantly say in the first film and in the novel, you know, are you still my little girl? And that was something that haunted Beverly. So the fact that Pennywise knows, that's exactly what haunts her. And now that's what he's going to use to try and get at her and try and, you know, break her down before, of course, he comes and tries to eat her. So, my goodness, such a tension-filled scene. I loved every second of it. I was eating it up. But once we get on from there, we kind of get a bunch of quick flashes of other scenes in the movie. And speaking of the feels, like I said earlier, with young Beverly looking at the postcard from Ben, man, there's a scene where little Georgie is in the sewer back where Pennywise killed him and took him. and he's reaching out to Bill, and he's got the little paper boat in his hand. And man, James McAvoy is really selling this right here, where he's looking down and he sees it, and it looks like he's about to be in tears. He looks like he's very painful. He's very distraught, I want to say. So, oh my goodness, man, the fact that James McAvoy is playing Bill Denbrough is just fantastic. Perfect casting. Can't wait to see what he brings. Well, we get to see other shots. We get to see the reuniting of the crew at the Chinese restaurant. We even get to see also, as well as speaking on those fields, we get to see flashbacks of the kids, of course, from the first movie. So there's a nice shot here, which, oh man, it just makes you feel something, doesn't it? If you're a fan of this series, if you're a fan of this novel, this shot makes you feel something, right? Seeing all the Losers Club riding their bikes together in the summer, smiles, just having a good time, enjoying each other's friendship. Man, that's what it's all about, right? It's a coming of age story, you know, the Losers Club, the power of friendship as a child. And we get to see them again. This looks like more of a reflection shot. We probably won't get dialogue in this scene, but it'll probably just be the adult losers on some bikes, or just standing in front of this mirror, and this is probably going to be the reflection that they see. They see their younger selves. And this shot right here especially, man, you know, people are really talking about the Avengers right now. The Losers Club. This is my Avengers. But as you can probably see here, not everyone is here, right? Not every character is here. I'm not going to tell you what that means. If you read the novel, you know what that means. But if you haven't, well, you're going to be in for a pretty big surprise. We get to see the Losers Club actually even venture back into the sewers. We see right here, looks like they're going to go in and fight. And in this shot, too, we see that they're all pretty dirty with their clothes. So we imagine this is probably some shots from the third act of the film. But we also get to see this pretty cool shot right here, which we also saw from leaked set photos of Bill Hader as Richie Tozier back at the fair, and it looks like this is where he sees Pennywise on top of the Paul Bunyan statue floating down to him, which let's go ahead and talk about that right now too. This shot too, man. It looks like Pennywise is having so much fun, right? It looks like he's having a ton of fun in this trailer, you know, just being a menace and terrorizing the Losers Club and the people of Derry. So it looks like he's very jovial here. He's having a lot of fun. He's torturing Richie Tozier here, but he's having fun. So if Pennywise is having fun, we're all having fun. Speaking of Pennywise, there's a nice shot here of him, you know, coming out of the ceiling here, right, the wall, and he's leaping onto Mike Hanlon. So I wonder if this is maybe from early on in the film, or if this is towards the third act. I don't know. This doesn't look like somewhere where the sewer system might be. This could be, actually, this could be from a completely different scene with Mike alone. So I'm curious to see what happens in this scene. But Pennywise is looking terrifying here. But speaking of Pennywise looking terrifying, that last shot, man, of him in the darkness, coming out of the darkness, and there's just red light, you know, masking him, and he just says hi, and that creepy voice, right? I mean, Pennywise is, oh man, I love the character of Pennywise so much. Bill Skarsgård is, again, he's killing it, man. He really is. One of the last things I wanted to touch up on, which has always bothered me, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but, you know, Bill Denbrough and Beverly Marsh as adults, and it looks like they're about to share a kiss. That always bothered me in the novel and in the miniseries, and even in the first movie as well. You know, Bill doesn't need to get the girl, right? I mean, even as an adult, he's married, he has a wife, and he still kisses Beverly when he returns. I never liked that for the character. You know, I understand that they loved each other as kids, but you know, the romance in the Losers Club has and always should be Ben and Beverly. So the fact that, you know, they showed that in the trailer, I kind of didn't like that. But other than that, that's just really nitpicking. I am so excited for this movie. I cannot wait to see our good old boy Pennywise, the dancing clown, return, right? It's going to be a lot of fun. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, and love to hear what you guys have to, you know, put into this trailer and what you thought. If you enjoyed this breakdown, I'd love it if you can leave a like as well. Maybe consider subscribing, because I'm going to have a ton of more It Chapter 2 videos on the way. I'm going to be doing a Easter eggs video, and I'm also going to be talking about the possibility of maybe us getting a prequel or spin-off or It Chapter 3 in the coming years. So you're not going to want to miss those videos. But anyways, guys, this has been Millennium Movies, and I will see you all very soon.